And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode. This is our life. This is a pen. Actually, this is my wife's. It's a Sharpie. It's a very fine point. So, oh, got attached to the carpet. I'm part of the zombie apocalypse response team. Anyway, it was Beowulf. I didn't realize it was so thin. I thought it would be much thicker, but Beowulf. And it could even be thinner because of the way.
Horror, not what kind of story is it?
It's
Like a horror, like Frankenstein-ish, or?
No, it's one of the early European myth stories.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought something like Frankenstein or something. Well, it could be with that name.
Yeah.
You never know.
So anyway, I'm going on and on without getting to my point. Our female.
Maggie's in heat. She's
Yeah.
driving us nuts.
Mama cat over here, and Lucky's down here scratching his belly.
First day, and she's already worn out of welcome.
This video actually goes out to
My aching back.
to a certain group of people, and I know some of them on Facebook. You know, I don't know them in person, but I know them on Facebook. Like Reddit Trouble Teens, Cafe TY, groups like that, and people involved with those groups. One thing that I want to do is write a memoir. The problem is bringing up all those memories. Yeah, very painful memories. I mean, if I were to write a autobiography,
I think both of us had a lousy childhood.
yeah. If I were to write an autobiography and I were to leave all this stuff out, it wouldn't be an autobiography. It would be a joke. It wouldn't even be a novel. It would be nothing.
It'd be a skeleton.
Yeah. So how do you deal with the emotions? How do you... See, I used to be an angry person. And a lot of it had to do with, you know, the abuse, the things I went through. And I'll run through some of the places, or all the places that I was in, or try to get all of them. Austin State Hospital, 1972, 1973. 8 years old. Turned 9 while I was there.
Hi, Maggie.
This is back in the day where they had the old psychiatric hospital buildings, you know, the big white buildings with bars and screens on the windows.
I'm gonna pull your tail.
Now, I sort of know why I was there. I don't know about anybody else except one group, which were, and now mind you, I was 8 years old. I had just moved to the United States. Just moved to the United States.
Knock it things over.
And I didn't know the United States. I didn't know Americans. I mean, I still spoke fluent Spanish, and I spoke English, and I still spoke a little Japanese. I just moved here, 8 years old, and I get sent to a place like that. There was a group of kids, and mind you, this is 1972. If you were a juvenile and you were sentenced to the equivalent of juvenile prison, you probably did something pretty freaking bad. They didn't just send kids away back then. Not to that type of establishment, not to the prison type of establishment. And they didn't have cells or beds in the... There was one youth...
just couldn't stand the sight of you.
Yeah, there was one youth prison in the Texas Hill Country. I think there was another one in the Piney Woods in East Texas. But, you know, they didn't have room for the kids, so they stuck them in the state hospital in Austin. So who knows what we were dealing with? You know, who knows what kind of kids those were? Then I was in Bel Air General Hospital, the psych unit, for the summer. And then I went to HIH, Houston International Hospital, a few months there. Then I went to Edgemead up in Mineral Wells. I was there about a year. Then I went to Devereaux, and I was there twice. The first time for a year, the second time for 2 years.
I might as well put you in a traveling circus.
Yep. 3 years total. Actually, it was, I think, if you actually look at the number of months, it was closer to 4 years, but who's counting? And, you know, there was abuse in every single one of those. The first place and the last place, Austin and Devereaux, those were the worst. The first and the last places were the worst. How do you deal with the emotions when you're trying to talk to someone, tell somebody about things, write this stuff down? How do you deal with the emotions without becoming so angry? Because I used to be so angry, and it actually takes a lot of energy for me to stay calm, because I know what I used to be like. I could go up to somebody and just knock them upside the head. Didn't take much for me to do that. Now, I don't do that anymore, but I don't want to be like that anymore. How do I deal with all this? How do I write this stuff down without becoming mean and angry? Anger, I'm going to get angry. That's going to happen. But how do I not get to where I used to be? How do I get to where I'm not like, I want revenge, you know, I want...
You better behave or I'll have the iron skillet after you.
You know, how do I not be mean and I mean, how do you do it? You know, I mean, just because it's been, jeez, I graduated high school in 83, 82 or 83. I think I graduated in 83. So I got out of Devereaux in 82. You might say, well, that was a long time ago, Seamus. Yeah, it may have been, but when...
It's hard to let go of past hurts.
Yeah. And when you're reliving it, when you're trying to write this stuff down or talk about it, you are reliving that. You are reliving every moment of that. How do you do this without going off the deep end? That's my question. So, here we go.